Well, hey, you know what? You've missed the entire first 20 minutes, half an hour of the stream of me talking and describing shit.
The only important part about
Shut
the
it down.
whole
We'll
thing
start
is
over.
that Canadian Dice is sponsoring us.
Canadian Dice is our sponsor.
Other than that,
The party is in the very back of the mist shrouded valley, and
he said he can see your lips moving.
Can you hear me now? Hey, it works.
I don't
Handpod
know.
says, "Hey, it works." Handpod says, "Hey, it
Perfect.
works." Okay. I don't know why, but OBS decided not to recognize my microphone, so I had to restart that.
Who are you?
I don't know. Okay, so we're in the mist-shrouded valley. Elliston has approached Grinnick to see if he can learn from the discs, but Grinnick is not willing to trust him yet. I love it. And
pretty smart.
Steve, Tika, and Worm have checked out the archway leading under the mountain, marked with the dwarven ruins. The archway with the dwarven runes that speak of Thorbarden, which is kind of an important thing. That's the mountain dwarf capital. And now we're with Rook, and we're with Rook and the dwarven kid Spark. And you guys have begun sort of tracking and trailblazing, and the two of you reach the very, the top of the summit of this trail. Rook has a couple concerns that I'll highlight here. The first is, it is unlikely that the wagons will be able to make this traverse, which means there's a lot of food and water that would need to be carried. When you look down the other side, it is a fairly... you're looking down to this valley here to the west of where we have our purple eye. That's where the caravan is. So
it's an eye.
Yeah, it's supposed to be a purple eye.
thought it was the wrong. I'm at the wrong end. Never mind.
Oh, okay, fair enough. And Rook, you think that this is doable on foot? However, you notice immediately that, there is no cloud cover once you leave the valley. It doesn't extend into this neighboring western valley.
So tactically, we'll have to be slowed right down because we need lots of food and water. It's going to be slow going. And the second we get to the summit, we have to ditch the wagon. So moving old people and the sick and wounded is going to be incredibly difficult beyond this point. Is that what I'm hearing?
If you go this way.
Yeah, okay.
If you go this way.
Yeah. All right. So this is a no-go.
When Spark's looking down off the mountain, she says to you, "Not bad."
Yeah, no, not for sick and wounded. We can't. The wagons will be too loaded down, and we can't take them past this point. We've got too many sick and too many old and too many people. It's a great place to bring warriors and people like ourselves, but.
She loves the fact that you refer to her as a warrior. A big beaming smile. She says, "I don't think they're going to do much better underground, are they?"
Well, we'll have to go back and check that out now, won't we? You're a dwarf. You should love being underground, right?
I'm a hill dwarf. I'm a hill dwarf.
Well,
I'm of the Nidar. I don't live underground. That's mountain dwarf territory.
Okay, sorry, didn't know. I just thought you guys all liked it. Sorry.
Do you know the story of the mountain dwarves? They locked us out.
I understand that.
I mean, I wasn't there. But they locked us out. They locked the hill dwarves out.
I don't know what the reasons are, and I don't know what's going on.
I could tell you. I could tell you.
I'm sure you can.
I might have to swear, though.
Let's not do that, because that'll just mean you're going to talk a whole lot more, won't it? So why don't we just keep it quiet and let's head back so we can let everyone know what this is probably not a good option.
She takes like a deep breath. The air is always better this high up.
Yes, it is.
Do you live on a mountain? Did you live on a mountain?
No, I lived in trees.
Trees.
I tell her about my home, and then I just say, okay, let's just take it down a notch and let's head out.
Did you live alone?
Yes.
Do you have a wife?
No, I do not have a wife.
Kids?
No, I don't have kids.
Who'd you live with then?
I live with. Well, I guess he's not my father, but the closest thing I've ever had to a father. I lived with with Terry. He taught me everything I know about hunting, fishing,
Terry.
basically, and ranging.
What type of a name is Terry? Is that human?
Yes. Anyway, that's story for the fire. Let's just keep it down and let's head back.
Okay, but you're a
I can envision
half-elf.
this scene. This scene would be so awesome to watch.
I'm
Plodding through
picking
the
up.
woods.
I'm picking up a ball like a snow. I'm picking up some snow, making a snowball. I need you to let's just quiet and carry your head back now. And she keeps talking. I'm going to throw the snowball and say, "Just quiet and let's go."
She's like, so did you call Terry Old Terry because you'd known him a long time, or is he Old Terry because he's old?
At that point, Old Terry because he's
that
old.
Point, the snowball hits her.
And I go, all right, quiet. Enough questions.
Did Old Terry ever drink Bailey's out of a shoe?
Yes, he did. Damn it! Who hasn't? It's a rite of passage.
She puts her skis on. She goes, I have an extra pair of skis.
I'm good.
I could teach you.
You head back.
Come on, good. Rook. It's bonding.
No, there'll be no skis. There'll be no skiing.
Don't stick in the mud.
So she straps her skis on tight. Again, they look like she like really tightens them down.
Yeah.
And then the two of you begin to descend the hill, and you can tell she's trying to be quiet.
I say, Scout, get back. Tell everyone this is no go. I'll just kind of take my time heading back.
Well, if there's nothing in danger, I would rather stay with you.
All right, then just stay with me. Let's be quiet in case there is something in danger that's lurking around looking for us that we don't know about, but I can't hear because you're making too much noise. How about that?
Okay,
sound good?
But listen to this idea. Because if you're by yourself with no one to talk to, I mean, then you can be quiet. But when you're with someone, why would you waste the opportunity not to talk?
Get your skis on and go. Just get your skis on and go.
My skis are on, Brooke.
Go now. Go.
Okay. I don't know what you do when you're alone all the time.
Enjoy the silence. Go.
She just shakes her head at you and then pushes off, and you see her sort of blonde braids disappear as she makes her way down on her skis. Benedict,
before you let me go, I'm just going to be starting to knock out our tracks as best I can as I'm going back.
Okay.
Doing the old, just trying to knock them out as best I can so that when the snow comes in, they'll fade quicker.
Okay. All right. Benedict, you and your group push sort of northeasternly up, and the walking is easy because the caravan's been this way, right? So
yeah, it's been trailblazed.
Yeah, with the wagons and all the footprints, it has really left a trail. You guys set up a couple, traps. Your drunken dwarven friends get at that, and there's a few plainsmen and people from Haven and Westgate and whatnot, and you finally reach sort of back all the way to the mouth of the valley, and you and sort of there's a plainsman with you and one of your drunken dwarf friends, and the three of you are sort of the first ones to sort of look down on the lake. Now you're still, the mist and fog here sort of rolls across, so you get a little glimpse and then it disappears and then you get a little glimpse again. But now you can see the lake, and on the other side of the lake, the three of you can see black smoke.
Where the village used to be, or where the forest used to be, or yes,
yes, where the town used to be. Where the Hill Dwarf village was.
So our ruse worked. We left all the lights on and they thought everybody was home. Success.
Or you've never been taught by your mother never to leave the house with a candle burning.
Yeah, that or... I'm going to explain the dragon.
You believe that the dragon army has probably reached that town. So
they're either coming or they're going home.
One hex here is a mile, right? So... we're talking, they're about 4 miles from the mouth here, and then you guys are another 2 or 3 miles down into the valley.
Now, we don't see them on the lake, though.
You don't see anyone crossing the lake.
But there's a but
But
in that
I'm waiting.
tone.
There's a pause there.
No, that's the answer. You don't see anyone crossing the lake. You do see smoke rising from the far side of it.
All right. Well, we'll set up some type of signaling system or relay system to, we'll keep eyes.
Your
from the top of
your
the pass
dwarven
here.
friend like hits his horn for a drink of mead, and then he says to you, "Maybe we should set up an observer here."
That's what I'm doing. Yes, good advice.
Someone...
I seem to recall a friend of mine telling me my plan already, like last night. So we're on a roll here.
Do you want me to stay, knight?
No, we need you with the main force.
Well, who are you leaving?
Know where all the traps are.
What?
We're gonna have a rotating shift. Don't worry.
Probably for the best. We didn't bring enough mead.
Exactly.
And he hits his horn again. He's not blowing his horn. He's drinking from it.
No, but I'm gonna need you and your brethren to go back and let everyone know where the traps are in case we have to come back this way.
He can't reach your shoulder, so he just taps you on the thigh. He's like, "You can trust me, friend. You can trust me."
I wouldn't trust anybody else with this task. It's very important.
I'm on my way.
I'll give him a salute.
I should be knighted for this. Onward.
Tally ho.
And he makes a very
I'll turn to the
crooked path back in the direction.
Perfect. And then with the sober people, the plainsmen and elves and whoever that are here, we'll set up whether it's a signal fire or a relay system or runners or whatever, we'll set up a early warning system.
Okay, a fire probably won't work. As you look back in the direction of where the encampment is, like it is totally shrouded in mists and cloud.
I would prefer something that wasn't like blowing a horn so that they know we know they're coming.
Okay.
So maybe we'll get some fast runners and do it that way.
All right. So the plainsmen that you have there with you, they figure that out, who's going to do the running.
Perfect. If only I had my horse.
If only. What would your horse's name be?
Rook.
Brook or Rook?
Rook.
Rook is your horse? Yeah, I feel that.
Or Terry, one or the other.
You
ride me like a bitch.
Ride old Terry. Ride old Terry to town.
Yeah, old Terry couldn't make the trip. We had to put him out to pasture.
Okay, so let's assume that everybody eventually makes it back with the information that we've talked about, the over the hill, down the cave, and back towards the entrance. And the encampment is now setting up pretty good, and there's really not a need for fires because of these steam vents and that dump into the valley. So people are just being sure not to, get too close to them, but close enough that they get the effects of their warmth. And a couple small fires are being set up for cooking, but nothing that would go noticed or anything like that. You feel like this is a pretty safe place for now, with the exception of course, the dragon armies are probably going to see a very obvious path across the lake, and it won't take them too long, you don't think, to find this particular valley.
But the path has a big fucking hole in it.
Yes, it does. Halfway across the lake, there's a big hole. For sure. So,
is there a way that, like, when I'm helping Lorena get like the camp set up and stuff like that, whatever plainsmen aren't already busy doing other shit, like, can we send them up over the hills to the east to check for
the east is not passable. Like you need to do some serious fucking climbing to get over the peaks on the eastern side of the valley.
Okay.
Good call on the hunting for sure.
Yeah, I just want to try to send out at least a small hunting party somewhere.
Yep.
Like either they can check here in the valley, or if they're really, really, really fucking careful, back alongside the lake.
Okay.
Yeah, if there's a big hole in the ice, we could do some fishing.
Yeah, go out and do some ice fishing. Could this Dragonlance get any more fucking Canadian? Like, sit out on the ice there, boy. Stick your pole in.
Well, there could be things worth killing in the hole.
I'm pretty sure we're all going to be going in the
And
hole.
and then we can bring those out for food.
Okay, but that doesn't help us right this second. I'm saying, can we send out a small
No,
party?
absolutely. They get
Like,
on it.
they could go get some rabbits or something, anything that will help, because we've got just over 1,000 people in the valley here.
Yes. And remember,
with the dwarves,
food is dwindling. About
Yeah.
We brought a ton of honey, though.
You did. Everybody's going to enjoy toast and honey. There's about
Yeah.
2 days worth of food remaining.
Okay, yeah. So definitely send them out, like, if they can. Just coordinate with them as much as I can and help with whatever Lorena will fucking let me at this point.
Dadalorian, they have not found the dire polar bears yet. Maybe dire. There are dire bears. They heard about a really big bear.
Yeah.
The dwarves mentioned them.
And
so.
Steve wants to wrestle it.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. So, are we staying here in the camp for a night, or is the party... Like, you tell
If
me.
we can get everyone back,
we
I
should
want to go
sleep.
down.
We should sleep because we haven't slept yet either.
No, you guys are running on empty. Absolutely.
We are not going to do anybody any good if we go down in there and get ourselves fucking killed because we're exhausted. So
You're
everybody
right.
sleep and we'll go in the morning.
Yeah, and I
What
could
first
recharge
fight?
some spells.
You would get your spells
Armies
back.
move slowly.
Okay. So,
What would
I am going
Gilthanus
to
do?
rest.
what would Gilthanus do? We need a
First and
hashtag on
foremost.
that. We need a hashtag on that. What would Gilthanus do?
We need t-shirts.
Poor Gilthanus.
So the cave starts to get warm at a certain part where it's kind of darkish.
Well, you don't know.
Warmer.
You didn't feel it, but Tika did.
Well, because I kind of want to camp. I want to sleep somewhere near the mouth of this in case something comes out.
Okay.
It's got to deal with my fucking ass first.
All right.
So any place I
Nobody
can
wants
find
to deal with
that's...
that.
So you
No,
you're
even Steve doesn't.
You're a little bit removed from the camp, but you find a place to hunker down up there. Tika assumes that you're just trying to isolate from the group because, privacy.
I don't want to be too far from my.
Have I
beefy
lost?
brother,
Have
though.
I lost? I think I've lost sound on Viking now.
No, Viking's just an idiot.
Oh, okay. Okay, fair enough. All right. Well, Tika joins you.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Tika's going to join me, but there's no shenanigans.
Of course not.
No. Worm can sleep with us too if it helps stop the shenanigans.
Okay, Worm agrees to do
I
I'm
was
that.
going to
saving
head
my-
over to you,
Probably
but now I'm
goes-
not.
Hard pass.
I'm saving myself until I'm married. I talk a good talk, but
Worm agrees to
I've got no game.
Worm agrees to chaperone. You're not sure Tika has game. Like she just yeah.
So Worm's
I
gonna
only
cock block
recently
him.
word the word.
Worm is cock blocking Steve
Good.
and
That's
Tika.
good. That's good for her.
I think that's a good place for her. She'll be proud of that. Okay. So everybody sort of beds down and takes the night to heal some hit points. So everyone can get a hit point back. Well, actually,
A whole hit point?
before the sleep, does Grinnick want to cast his Cure Light Wounds to just dump them out and then get them back in the morning? Grinnick? Do you have any Cure Light Wounds? Who is wounded?
Worm and Steve for sure.
I'm
Steve
down.
lost
Steve,
4
how
hit
much?
points. I lost 2.
That's
That's
it.
what I
I'm
thought.
gonna
We
get-
were pretty good in that fight, I thought.
I think everyone's...
Oh, did
pretty
you use
good.
them already? Okay. All
No,
right.
I didn't use them.
Okay. Well, everybody can give
We
themselves.
just barely got splashed with acid. That's all.
Everybody can
Yeah.
give
Here,
themselves.
there's one for Steve.
there's
There you
one-
go, Steve.
I get 1.
Everybody
Yeah.
gets 1 back from the night. I'm gonna bump Worm's hit points up 1 there.
Well, I'm fully healed. Thank you, eating body.
Okay.
Hi, lad.
So
We haven't had a lot of food lately. Kind of sad.
yeah. So the group of you, I'm gonna say, meet sort of up towards this cave and where this archway is. Tika and Lorana are both there with you, as is Spark.
Is she gonna come along as a runner?
She has her axe out and ready, and she looks like she means business.
She's one of the warriors. Rook told her.
Is she following Rook?
Rook sent her ahead, so she'd be like
No. This
Yeah,
is
hours
this
ahead
is
of
the
me.
this is the next day. So we've had our
Oh, so I
we've
would've made
slept
it
through the
back?
night.
Okay.
Now everybody's gathered outside of the mouth of that cave with the archway and the dwarven runes. And the I think the plan is that you guys are going to explore that to make sure the refugees can get down there. So so Spark has just tagged along.
Yeah, I think we should bring Spark. That way she can get back if she needs to report. Get out of the valley because here comes a dragon out the hole.
Does Krynn say that?
Yeah, I guess in his best Scottish accent.
Yeah, Spark is like, there could be a dragon in there?
That's what I'm counting on.
Rook looks at Grinnick and goes, "What have you done?" She's not going to shut up for the entire trip now. He just shaking
Dragons
his head,
have
going,
really
"Oh."
good hearing.
They do?
Yes, so we need to be quiet.
Do you think that's what all the smoke is for? Do you think that
You're not showing a very good example of being quiet. We don't want the dragon to hear us. We need to listen for the dragon.
Tika puts her arm around Spark and sort of scowls at you, Benedict.
I give her a head pat.
She'll be
so
quiet.
she knows
She'll
I'm
be quiet.
nice. One way or another, yes.
Rook's
Being a
like
bully.
behind her. Rook's like behind her, going, "She looked."
Yeah, be nice. Stop picking on her. She's quieter than I am in my armor anyway.
Rook just looks at it like, "Shut."
And then I start
How
clanging
quickly the
down the
group
hole.
turns on each
Okay.
other.
And I assume you have some light with you.
Do I?
For those that are not visually
Wait,
apt.
does my sword glow?
I think it might. Check it. I gave you your sword stats.
I think it only glows. I think it only glows in the presence of dragons. So, if it's glowing, we're having a bad afternoon.
It hums it buzzes in the presence of real dragons, chromatic dragons.
Weapon notes does not say nothing.
Okay. Well, either
normal J.
Either way, you can make your way
Breath
down.
Weapons. Yeah, I know. It's just nice to have my own light.
Okay, so
Get Worm to put light on my sword. No, on my shield.
That wasn't Worm that did that. That was
Who did that?
Grennick.
I think
Can Grennick cast light?
I don't think Worm can, if that's what you're asking.
I think it was Gilthanus.
I can only cast
Somebody-
It
continuous.
might have been Gilthanus. What would Gilthanus do?
Cast light on my shield. If not, I got to carry one of my torches.
Worm does not know the spell light.
Give your torch to Spark.
I do have that spell, but I didn't remember it.
Okay,
it's not on
you
my
didn't
list.
memorize it. Okay, so do you give a torch to Spark? She's pretty impressed if
No,
she gets to be the torchbearer.
I'm gonna, for a change, Steve's going first. He's not rear guard, unless
Okay.
the knight forces him out of his position.
I'll be up there shoulder to shoulder with you.
Okay, well then I will carry a torch instead of a sword because I have a shield. I'm good.
Okay, so you have your shield and torch out, and the two of you begin
Yeah.
to make your way down. So as you do, clouds of warm steam pour from a carved opening in the mountain wall, and a corridor 60 feet wide runs deep into the mountain. Giant statues, now broken, line this long corridor.
What are they statues of?
They look like dwarves,
But really big.
but really big, standing guard. So
I think we're on the right path.
you travel about 600 feet down this cavern. And it has Not a lot of twists and turns in it. It feels almost straight, like it was carved from the mountain. And the air is growing warmer the further down you go. And anyone in plate or chain armor is starting to really sweat.
Make my armor a problem. Thanks a lot.
Tika whispers up to Steve. I told you it was warm down here.
That's all right. How about banded mail? Where does that fall in your equation?
I mean, you're pretty warm in banded mail for sure.
Okay, I'm just gonna sweat then.
Basically, if your armor is giving you an armor class 5 or lower, then you're warm.
Yep. I'm gonna just accept that and continue on.
Okay.
I know the knight's not gonna bitch, so I can't bitch.
Yeah, splint mail's not comfortable.
No.
But it is what it is. It's better than dying.
So listen, you reach a junction, and
we've done that too.
The steam grows hotter and thicker here, and the corridor splits. One tunnel leads east, and one leads. Pardon me. One leads northwest, one to the east, and one to the southwest. So you're coming from the eastern one, like it leads back in the direction you came. And these tunnels branch, one to the sort of the northwest and one to the southwest. The heat seems to be coming from the northwest tunnel, and the road or the cut of the stone also feels like it's going northwest. The southwest seems like a side tunnel.
Well, Steve will stop and let somebody with an IQ larger than their shoe size decide which direction we go.
Seems like a natural point to split up.
We can meet up at the end in a pincer attack.
We'll send all.
I love that. I love
people.
that sort of. Yeah.
The lightly armored people can go where it's warm, and we'll check out the side passage. I'm chafing.
That sounds great. I'm chafing as well, but you don't hear me complain about it.
No,
the
sir.
mustache getting heavy.
So the heavy armored people are going southwest, and the light armored people are going northwest. Come on, is that what's happening? Is that what's happening?
No, that's not what's happening.
That's how I understand it was said.
That was the discussion. That was the discussion, but we didn't land on anything yet.
Would you guys like me to scout ahead?
You could scout down.
You and Spark should scout ahead together for sure.
No. I'm thinking Spark should stay with you. I'll just scout ahead. I'll be fine.
You scout the small side path.
I'm good. Yeah. I'll scream if I need help. I promise.
Check the side passage.
Which the hot one or the cold one?
The cold one.
All right, off I go.
Down the cooler passage?
Yes.
How far are you going?
I'll go about 200 meters. I can see fine. I'm an elf. That's right, half elf. So I've got improvision.
All right.
And I'm not like I'm actually looking for stuff. Like I'm looking for webs, spider webs. Anything standard Underdark type crap. You know what I'm talking about?
You get a good 600, 700 feet down this side passage, and it definitely cools. It cools off. The walls are damp from the cool air here versus the warm moisture of the other tunnel, and but like even in your armor, it's far more comfortable this direction.
I'm assuming it's going to smell musky because it's damp, but do I smell anything over and above that? Like, does it smell?
No.
Like something might have been down here, like living down here, like defecating or stuff like that?
Well, no, nothing like that. This tunnel is 60 feet across and almost 60 feet high, so there's a lot of air that moves through here. But no, you don't smell anything like that.
Do I notice anything like on the ground or anything like that? I'm not looking for tracks so much as looking for like places that things might have gone through.
Yeah, you don't see anything like that this way. This tunnel looks just sort of unused and forgotten.
So if I look behind me, the only tracks I'd see would be my own.
Yeah.
Okay, so it just looks like there's really nothing been here. Okay. I'll head back and tell the party what I found.
All right.
It looks like it's cooler but empty. And I can go, if you want, I can go check down the hot path. The path they're all afraid to go down because they got their armor.
So everybody's sort of taking a breather, and like the heat is getting to people. Like people are, Chica and Lorana have like their helmets are off. You know, if anyone has like a chain hood, like a coif, you probably pulled that back to just get a little bit of air around you. The heat is just oppressive. So Rook's gone for a while and returns. Spark's like, did you find anything?
No, nothing's been down that path. And it's cooler down there. If you guys want to go down there and wait where it's not as hot up here, I can go check the hot path and come back.
Knights, do we need to cool off?
I'm fine with cooling off or staying here, whatever the group wants to do.
I'm going to recommend they go down a bit where it's cooler, and there's nothing down that cave that I could see when I went down 600 meters.
Okay.
Just go down there, cool down. That way you're not going to need to use any extra water, and then I'll go check the hot path in case we've got to go that way.
Okay.
All right.
So, Rook, you head off in the direction of the hot, sort of the warm tunnel. Mm-hmm. And like the heat, it does not let up. And then you reach a large cavern where natural vents in the earth blast forth steam. The roar of escaping steam is deafening, and a maze of stalagmites and stalactites cover a huge cavern.
Okay, does this look like it's been... Again, not looking for like actual tracks. I'm just looking to see this. It looks like a worn out path, like in the stone where...
Yeah, you can make you can make a tracking check for me.
Absolutely. Where is it tracking?
You can also roll a d6 for me and just tell me what you get.
I did tracking 61.
Okay. And roll me a d6.
Absolutely. A 2.
Okay. So it's really warm in here. Some of the dirt around the vents has even turned, like some of the rock and stone, like there's mud and things like that. And you find a very large footprint in the mud.
Okay, now we're cooking. When you say footprint, is it like bigger than mine, smaller than mine? How deep is it? Like, what am I looking at?
It's a very broad foot, but it looks just like yours. It has 5 toes. It's a bare foot.
It's a barefoot.
Not like a bear, like a bear.
No, I mean like bear, like someone that's running around bare feet. Bare feet.
Yeah.
Sasquatch!
No. Okay, I'm gonna see if I can find some more of these tracks and follow them.
I want a restless Sasquatch.
Okay. It's not long before you start to hear the echo of voices ahead in the mist, and I will tell you that even with your infravision, your visibility in these caves are limited to about 10 feet.
That's fine.
But you can hear voices ahead.
Do I recognize the language?
What languages does Rook speak?
Rook speaks several, actually. He speaks Common, Elfish, Gnomish, Kender, Goblin, and Hobgoblin. I'm surprised there's not Dwarf there, but oh well.
You don't understand the language.
Okay, I'm just going to go a little further so I can kind of make out what's talking it. And when I say I'm crawling, like I'm literally crawling on doing as low as I can, stay low to the ground.
Okay.
Just trying to sneak my way up.
Roll me a d6 again, please.
You got it.
Okay.
I rolled a 3.
All right. Ahead in the sort of the billowing mist, you can see sort of a large body sitting on the ground. It looks humanoid.
Bigger?
It looks humanoid, but you can't tell what it is. It's 2 or 3 times the size of a man.
Does that match the footprint I saw?
Sure, it might. Yeah.
Because a man, that would be a footprint this big, if that's how big the guy is.
Yeah.
That's a giant size footprint. You
Yeah.
said it was just a footprint this big.
No,
Like,
no.
how big?
No, it was big. It was big. It was a broad, big footprint.
Oh, okay. Okay, so I'm just going to sit there.
Whatever this thing is in the mist ahead, it'd probably stand 12 feet tall. Maybe 13.
I'm going to stay just hidden and just watch to see what it does.
It's talking with another one, but you can't see the other one. They're speaking the same language, the 2 voices, but you can only see the one just ahead in the fog.
Okay, I'm just going to stay hidden and not move and just let them have their chat while I stay hidden.
So they talk for a while, and then this one sort of pushes up off the ground and lumbers up onto its feet. Just going to make a check here. And the 2 of them, begin to move away from you in the fog.
Okay, I'm going to use that as my thing to go. I'm going to start sneaking away.
All right, so you make it back to the group. They're still at the intersection, and everybody. Well, they've moved a little bit down the cooler tunnel, I think,
Yep.
Yeah.
Just down as far as it stops being oppressive.
Yes.
So if it's a couple hundred feet, that's it. That's no farther.
Yeah. When Rook gets back, Rook, could you give me a poison?
Well, I want to make sure I'm not being followed.
Yeah.
I'm going to stay at the mouth of, I'm going to stay where they originally were, but at the mouth of that cave where the heat's coming from to listen to see if they're coming up. In case those things followed me.
Yeah, no, you're not being followed.
All right, then I'll head back down.
Can you give me a poison, paralysis, poison, and death saving throw for me, please?
No, I can't. That would be wrong. What you want? The poison, paralysis, and death?
Yeah, that saving throw.
Jeez.
Don't worry about it. The death almost never happened.
This is 80. I rolled the 1. I don't think I made that save. I think I'm now a stone statue.
Are you supposed to roll under your percentage for that?
No, you're supposed to roll over.
Saving throws you want above.
Hopefully.
Saving throws you want above.
You want above.
So from being in the steam cave, when you get out, you suddenly realize just how oppressive the heat was in there, and your constitution has dropped by 1.
Awesome.
So just make a note of that. I think in the brackets beside. I think in the brackets beside. No, it's not permanent. But
so in the brackets beside, make it go from 15 to 14.
That's correct.
All right.
You feel
that's
like you're
brutal.
a little. The heat has taken its toll on you. You have, and when you guys see Rook, his skin is red. Like he's been in a sauna type environment. Copper, just to catch you up, we went, if you remember the archway we found at the end of last session, the party has gone down in there and they have just found more and more steam and fog. They reached a branch, sort of a Y in the road, and one direction it begins to cool down, but the other direction you find the source of the heat, which is all these steam vents in this cavern, and it's oppressive and in its intensity. And Rook has just returned, sort of tired and maybe a little
moist.
Maybe a little moist. He's been. It's like he's been out.
I'm thinking
sun.
Borderline heat exhaustion.
Yeah, well, it's like the
like.
earliest. It's like the earliest signs of that, and maybe Rook takes a big drink of water,
Yeah, I think that's what I'm doing.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to tell the group. I'm going to go find the group now. Go back down to where they were if I'm convinced I'm not being followed.
Yeah.
And I'm going to tell them what I found. First I'll just say that heat's oppressive, so you guys in armor probably aren't going to like it. And down there are at least 2 large, and when I say large, I mean 12 feet tall humanoids of some sort, and I don't know what they are. I would assume some kind of.
So Rook's giving his
giant.
Rook's giving his brief. He's covered in mud because he was on his belly for so long.
Oh yeah, totally.
Yeah, Spark comes over and she like you're still talking, trying to give the brief, and she just picks something off your chest.
What are you doing?
Look at this. Were you lying in treasure? And you see that she has a very muddy but very obvious gold coin.
I must have. I didn't notice it.
What are you holding?
She says, "Oh look, it has the face of a dwarf on it." And she like rubs it clean, and you're looking at a what appears to be a very old gold coin. It has a dwarven face on one side, and then on the back side there's like a coat of arms.
No, I tell her, I said, clearly I must have. I was crawling through the mud in there, but it's hot. I mean, it's messed up. And I said, there are at least 2. I don't know how many more. And I showed them how big the footprint was. And I say how tall they were. They had to be like 12 feet tall. So they were hill giant size or better that are down there. I didn't get a good look at them. I didn't understand what they were saying. But
Lorana shakes her head. She goes, if they were under 20, that was probably maybe an ogre, not a hill giant.
Think we can draw them up here where it's cooler and have an advantage? I'm kidding. And work around them, hopefully in the side tunnel.
Well, if you guys want, I can keep going down this cool tunnel till I get the other end and see where it goes. But if we go that way, the heat's going to be repressive for everybody, and we're going to have at least to fight 2. I don't know what they were. They could be friendly. I mean, I could be wrong. They could be friendly, but if they're not, they're big, and that would be a huge fight in steam that's oppressive.
So Lorana says a few words in a language that sounds very much like the one you heard. She says, "Is that what they were talking like?"
I said, yes, that sounds pretty close.
They were ogres, Rook.
Okay, that just says that we're going this way, not that way.
Steve is suffering a lot of personal grief at the moment because the idea of wrestling an ogre naked because I can't wear my armor? Come on!
What if we draw them up here and you can keep your armor on?
As you guys are,
Kira just like looks at him and gives him the "don't even start" look.
Steve,
That's what I mean. That's why he's so distraught. He knows he can't.
Anyone watching can see Spark is like licking the coin.
Yeah,
and she's biting it.
But don't put that in your mouth.
She's biting.
Honey.
She goes,
"You don't know where it's been."
"Pretty sure this is real gold."
We don't know where Rook's been. Don't put that in your mouth.
What if it wasn't mud?
Yeah.
She brings the coin over to Grennick and Grenlead, and she says, "Do you think this is a mountain dwarf coin?"
Do we have to roll?
No.
Good.
No, you have no idea if it's a mountain dwarf
right?
coin. I mean, it has a very obvious dwarven face, and it has a dwarven sort of a coat of arms on the back, maybe some dwarven writing like "Trust in the Mountain" or something written on it, and
Wormcast lightning bolt down the passage.
Yay!
she's like,
I'm gonna run with no.
if there's a dwarven coin down there,
Gold's not worth anything. Don't worry about it. It's just pretty.
Spark's like, "I know, Steve, but if there's one, there might be
But
more."
what? Yeah, more useless is still useless. If I can't fight them naked down there, we're going down this path.
Tika pats you on the shoulder, and she's like, "You beautiful muscle." I think she's trying to say, like, you would find coins near cities, right?
Maybe, but I'm going down this path because it's cooler, and I'm not allowed to fight them naked. My sister said no.
I tap Spark on the shoulder and reassure that she's onto something.
Yeah, I think she's probably correct. I'm just thinking maybe we can find another way. Like, let's explore this way.
This is the
Yeah.
secret passage to the treasure room. Let's continue, Spark.
Steve is going to stomp off down the tunnel with a torch on like a dejected teenager just being told to stop playing their video game.
Are we going down the cool tunnel?
Yes.
Yes.
Well, Steve is.
Okay.
I'm not
I
allowed to
will
be naked
proudly
and fight
march
things.
behind Steve. You
All
can
right.
be naked or fight things.
So
My
listen,
sister said no.
you follow the cool tunnel for a very long time until it also intersects a sort of crossroads. And it's basically like you came from the one side of the mountain and it wide like this, right? And then you're coming into another Y passageway that either continues sort of south or it goes back. So there's a tunnel that continues south, sort of the direction you're headed right now, or another path that goes back north, sort of back in the direction of where all the hot temperature was. And you guys can tell at this intersection that it's definitely warm back in that direction. So if you can imagine like two Y passages, right? And you took the bottom one and it's just like a long road and it's cool, but anything north hits that steam cavern.
Perfect for a pincer attack.
Yes, it is.
Yes, it is.
I hate you guys so much.
Why?
Every time with the pincer attack.
So if you'd like, you
can joke on Sunday nights for forever.
You can feel.
I know.
You can feel heat to the back the northern way, or if you continue on this tunnel, it looks like it's going to lead back out. You can feel cool, fresh air coming down the tunnel.
Pretty sure if we combat roll, it'll defeat the heat.
Whatever you say, Kirk.
Rook volunteers to go down the new hot tunnel again to go see what's down there to go scout ahead.
Okay. So, Rook, you make your way that direction. Spark's like, you need help?
Nope. You used to stay here with the group. I promise if I find any more coins, they're yours.
I can do the runner thing for you, remember? I'm the runner.
No, it's okay. I'm good. You stay here with the group.
I can't be happy, neither can you, Spock. Stay here.
She like kicks
and I grab her by the scruff.
Okay. As you do that, she sort of...
Just off the ground.
She kicks a rock in frustration as you just get her off the ground. And Rook leads off in the direction of north. Rook, sure enough, you get to the same sort of fog and shrouded cave with just really intense heat and steam and mist, and visibility goes to shit again, like down to 10 feet.
Okay, I'm going to do the same thing and I'm actively looking and listening for any of those like ogres in this cave.
Okay, so like give me a track check first of all.
You got it.
And then roll me a d6.
Yep.
Roll it.
Oh, I rolled a 3 for tracking. That's good.
That's really good.
And d6, rolled a 6.
Okay.
I can't remember whether it's high or low for that one.
So, listen, you find another muddy area.
Mm-hmm.
This time, though, you also find what looks to be like a broken old road beside the mud.
Okay, do I find...
There are muddy footprints all over the road. These are not ogre footprints. These are much smaller, but they are bear footprints nonetheless.
When you say smaller, how big?
Like the size of maybe a human or dwarf.
Like, golly, I wonder who we're dealing with.
Okay, now based on how deep they sink into the mud, does that give
me
an idea?
They don't sink into the mud. They're just all over the road.
Oh, they're all over the road.
Yeah,
and they're barefoot.
Yeah.
Oh dear God, we found gully dwarfs.
Yellow, mind the line and see what happens.
Yeah, I'm gonna mind the line and head down the road.
Are you gonna head down the road?
Yeah.
Okay.
Rook's been a while. Should we send Spark to go find him and tell him not to get too hot?
Rook,
you do. I swear to God, I'll give you such a pinch.
Can you give me another poison death save?
Oh yes, please. It's that hot.
We should send Steve.
Oh, it's that hot.
In his underwear.
So you need a poison death save?
Yeah.
Okay, where's my
paralysis, poison, and death?
Come on, big money. I just made it.
Yeah, I was gonna say I think you passed that. That's what you needed.
If you makes it, breaks it, right? So
you're. I'll tell you, you're having some respiratory issues. Like it's that warm. It's hard to breathe. But you haven't. It hasn't taken its toll on you yet. And up ahead, you think you see Like something, the up ahead, there's something looming in the mist. It's hard to tell what it is. And after a few more steps towards it, you realize that the road that those little footprints were on, they're leading towards some sort of a gate.
Perfect. I'm going to get off the road now and just try to find some cover as I make my way towards that gate. So if the road's this way, taking you to the gate, I'm doing one of these things and weaving my way through cover, trying to just to see what's there.
Okay, so everybody that's back waiting for Rook. Spark is like, he's been gone a while. Maybe we should go try to find him.
You really want us to send this kid after him, don't you?
I'm going to try to keep her busy playing rock, parchment, sword.
Boulder, parchment, shears.
Spark like looks at Steve. She's like, my brothers play that game. How old are you?
Ooh, burn.
Shorty! And I walk away.
So Steve walks away?
I believe Storm is probably he kicks his own fucking rocks too, because...
Can I have all the party members then roll a d6 for me? Except for Steve. Kira got a 5. Grenly to 2. Benedict to 6. Grenick a 5.
I rolled an 8.
On a d6. I love that. Yeah, so listen. After a few minutes, you guys watch Steve storm off, and then a few minutes later, you realize Spark is nowhere to be found.
I knew that was going to happen.
Without Steve's watchful eye.
All right, who's going after her?
I volunteer as tribute.
Who knew after
Yeah,
all
I'll
this
go.
time it was Steve that was the responsible adult?
Exactly, Grenly. Steve's so responsible. He's so responsible.
He wants to ride a giant bee.
Tika's like, Steve, I thought you were watching her.
She was mean to me. She's on their own now.
She looks very I'm not mad, Steve. I'm disappointed.
She's our age.
That's terrible.
It's not my fault she's short. How come nobody likes me today? All I want to do is get naked and fight giant things, and I can't. And he's just going to break down crying.
Okay.
Just sits on the floor, fetal crouch, just crying, because this has sucked for very many days.
I'll scout ahead.
Rook, the corridor leads into a wide sort of courtyard before you, and there is a wide gate. Obviously the work of master builders. In front of the gate is a strange sight. A single gully dwarf stands guard in the middle of the gate. His helmet is falling over his eyes, and he's having considerable difficulty keeping his oversized halberd from falling to the ground.
This looks like the gully dwarf that I freed.
No, it
The
does
little guy
not.
had the big helmet. No,
It does
Are
not.
you sure?
That would have been fantastic, but no.
No, that's who I thought it was. I went, oh my god. Oh, I don't speak dwarf, do I? Okay, but might speak common.
You're muted. You're muted, Captain. You're muted.
Rook's just gonna stay where he is, like stay low, just find a little spot to sit, like crouch down low, and I'm just gonna watch him and watch the gate and see what happens.
Okay. He is a bit of a comic act as he continually tries to adjust his helmet, drops his halberd, picks his halberd up, but has to adjust his helmet now, and then and it's just a repetitive thing.
Mm-hmm.
Then you hear not far behind you. Did you find it?
Oh dear God! Don't tell me it's her. Is it Spark?
Absolutely.
Okay, we won't tell you.
We won't tell you. Did you find it?
No, I haven't. Quiet. I haven't found it. There's a guard just up there. Just be quiet and
What?
stay here.
She's like, what
In
kind
fact,
of
you know what? Thank
what
God
kind
you're
of
here.
a guard? And she like looks around you as she says that.
Oh no.
And she's like, oh, a gully dwarf. And that just like echoes down.
Oh. I grab her mouth, cover her mouth, pull her to the ground, and said, "Listen, you're gonna have to run back and tell the people."
He immediately levels his halberd in your direction. He yells, "Halt! Answer me before I let you pass!"
I got her like, well, they go, shh, don't say another goddamn word. Just because there's one gully dwarf, there's never such thing as one gully dwarf.
There's never one gully dwarf.
I know. Now be quiet. But what I want you to do is run back and tell the people what.
They
tell the
breed
party what
like
you found.
rabbits.
Oh,
This coming from a dwarf with 6 younger brothers.
I know. The irony's not lost on me. I tell her to shut up. I tell her to run back and tell the party that I found a gate. I'll stay here in case the guy.
Are you gonna kill him?
No, I'm not gonna kill him. Just shut up and get going.
You hear a shaky voice echoing inside his massive helmet. Who's there? Come on now! Come out!
I'm not coming out. I send her to run back.
Tell him it's King Tobin.
Benedict, were you leading the party into the fog to find the rest of everyone? Did I hear you say
I just
that?
saw Steve crying, and I was gonna go ahead and try and find Rook.
Okay.
But yeah, I can lead the rest of the party if we all want to go.
Sure. Are we all going?
Yeah.
Might as well at that point.
Okay. Can
I'll
I
start taking.
can I have
taking off my
everyone?
armor.
Oh, you're gonna take your armor off?
Unless someone tells me it's a dumb idea. It's hot down there.
So everyone has to make a paralysis, poison, death saving throw. However, if you are wearing heavy armor, and heavy armor is any armor that gives you an armor class 5 or better, so chainmail, splint mail, banded mail, plate mail, you need to make that saving throw with a -2 modifier when it asks you for the modifier. If you would like to take your armor off, that's fine. We just need to note that. So Kira made hers. Benedict
I
failed.
just don't know how I'm going to carry it. So
Yeah, Benedict failed his.
Steve, carry my armor.
Steve, carry-
What?
Carry my armor for me.
I can't. Okay.
I'm taking my armor off.
I
Okay.
put it on top of my gear because carrying more shit's bound to keep me cool.
Okay. Granick, go ahead and roll without a modifier because Steve is carrying your shit.
What do I have to roll again? Sorry, I was
Well, hold on.
not here.
Steve has to make a paralysis, poison, death save. -2 for wearing heavy armor and -1 for carrying Granick's shit. So -3.
Yeah, fuck. Thanks a lot.
Hi, Tara. We had
Are we rolling that right now?
we had a Kender in the party, but our Kender couldn't continue to play with us, so we are down a Kender.
So
No
the
more Tobin
6
maneuvers.
So the
Yep.
6'6"
Brother.
guy does it.
Kira just looks at her brother and says, you can tell him no, Steve.
Yeah.
But he's my
You didn't have to-
eating buddy,
I'm aware, sweetie, but
and he keeps me alive.
what am I, a duck?
So Granick, even with your armor off, you failed. Steve, somehow with a -3 penalty, you still passed. Grenly, did we get a paralysis, poison, death save from you? If you fail this
It's not as
save,
hot.
you need to, in your brackets on your character sheet, reduce your constitution by 1.
It's not as hot as I thought it was going to be.
That's temporary, though, like you said, right?
It is temporary.
Everything is.
Okay, so
I
Grenly,
have one in that section.
Grenlead's constitution goes down. Grinnick's constitution goes down. Steve stays. Benedict's goes down, and Kira's goes down.
No, I rolled
Hey,
a
Rook's
17.
is already
Oh, did you make yours? Sorry,
Yeah,
I
rolled
I
a
misread.
17.
I'm gonna roll for Rook here. So
Don't forget Worm.
Do I have to roll again? I just rolled.
no, you don't need to roll again. You don't need to roll.
Okay.
Worm failed, so Worm's constitution is going down.
Perfect.
And
I have a 1 in that bracket, Jeremy.
you have a 1 in that bracket?
It
No,
says 1.
no. Remove that bracket. That bracket should be your new score, whatever that might be.
Okay.
I'm gonna roll for Tika.
And Gelthinus?
Gilthanus can't stand the heat. You know that. Oh my gosh. What would Gilthanus
We are
say?
all going to hell.
What would
for this.
Gilthanus say? For those that haven't watched before, Gilthanus was burnt up in Pax Tharkus by Ember the Dragon. He is no more.
Pretty sure Gelfinus would say,
And last but not least, where is
Con.
Lorana?
But he'd say it in Elven.
Yeah.
Yes, because elves are better than... Oh, Lorana killed it. She's doing very well. Okay, so listen.
Hell yes.
Too bad her brother wasn't more like her.
Yeah.
Carry on.
She's learned from her brother's mistakes. She's heat resistant.
My God, we are such assholes.
So you eventually you find Spark, and Spark leads you to Rook, and Rook is hiding behind an outcropping of rock, and beyond him are the gates to what appears to be some sort of a dwarven city, maybe. And there is a single gully dwarf with an oversized helmet and a halberd that he can't possibly lift for long periods of time. And he's yelling down the tunnel, "Halt! Answer me before I let you pass!"
Nope. Steve's going to pull what is known as the runaway ox cart maneuver.
Okay.
Mind the line.
I'm just going to run right at him and try to slam him into the door that's behind him.
There's no door. There's a big open gate to the city.
Well, then he's going into. Can I angle a bit so I can slam him into the side wall of the gate?
Sure. Do you want to do that? Give me a Steve does shit.
I'm yelling mind the line as Steve runs at him. Just
Mind the
for
line?
fun.
Okay.
Yeah. And I will yell that just as I hit him. As well.
So just before you hit,
Mind the line.
just before I hit, he's like, "Come on now, halt, halt! Are you supposed to be in this kingdom?" And then you're like, "Wham!"
No modifiers?
No, sir, no modifiers.
Well, we don't know if I've whammed yet. We're trying.
You probably went. Oh, you crit.
Gully dwarf soup.
So-
Dead gully dwarf.
I
18 points of
Cartoon
damage.
splatted against the
so
wall
just
there.
before Steve hits, you can see that the gully dwarf's like his courage fails him, and you know the halberd sort of clatters to the ground. Steve hits him. The helmet shoots like 10 feet in the air. It's like a quarterback getting sacked, and like the helmet pops off, just blows off, and Steve buries him into the wall. And he like his eyes roll back. He slides down the wall and fades into unconsciousness.
And then I look at the goo on my shield and go, I mind the line.
Were you willing to inflict lethal damage with this attack, or was this strictly a non-lethal attack?
Let's not murder him.
Okay. But he is out cold.
He's relatively harmless. It's not his fault he's stupid.
Absolutely. I think as the Gully Dwarf fades into unconsciousness and blackness, we will also fade into our break for washrooms and something to drink, and we will be right back. Either. We're back. Hopefully my mic is working. I think it is. It looks like I see lines going up. So that's good. My daughter has decided to tap dance on my head. So if you hear banging in the background here, that's what it is. So we have this is obviously the gates to some kind of a city. They once would have had like doors on them, and there would have maybe been sort of a large portcullis that would come down and everything. But all of those, like the portcullis is probably rusted in place wherever it is, and there are no doors any longer.
Only we could figure out what the name of the city was.
You can quite easily walk through the gate, and it looks like
How do you sleep at night,
across a bridge into a courtyard. And you have this little gully dwarf lying absolutely unconscious, and sort of his helmet is doing that, you know, when you knock a plate off the table and it makes that whoa, 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 whoa. Like his helmet is just rattling down like that as he's been totally knocked out.
Do I have
by
any?
Steve.
Do I have any food left? Like decent food? I know we've been taking care of people and whatnot for a few days now.
You might have some of that honey.
Okay. I'm gonna put a bunch of honey in his helmet.
Oh, okay.
And then put the helmet in his lap.
Okay.
Let him figure it out.
And then are you going to go into the city?
Oh yeah, unless someone stops me.
So beyond the gates, you cross a massive bridge that there is no water or anything on either side of it. The bridge just goes over a massive opening in the earth. Once inside the city, the heat does not let up. It is still hot as all hell in here.
Hot as balls.
Your visibility, though, has increased a little bit. There's not quite so much fog or mist in here. The ceiling above you is at least 100 feet up, shrouded in this mist, and these massive pillars sort of line this street that you're on, headed deeper into the dwarven city. And there's a few what were once no doubt shops, and you are reminded of sort of Zach Seroth, the sunken, abandoned city. It has a very similar feel to that, but very hot and muggy.
We don't see anybody else.
No.
But there's obviously something here, because the gully dwarf wouldn't be guarding nothing, and he wouldn't probably be out there on his own accord.
Spark says, Benedict, he's a gully dwarf. He would guard a toadstool if you told him to.
That's the whole point. I'm saying somebody told him to. So there's somebody here that would have told him to. He wouldn't think of doing it on his own, is what I was trying to say. So thank you for agreeing with me. You've supported my argument.
She has not quite grasped that. The wheels are still turning in Spark's mind.
And they're sparking.
Yeah.
I'll tell her to mind the line, and we'll carry on into the city.
Okay. As you do so, you walk between these massive pillars holding up the ceiling. You can't actually see the ceiling. All the fog and mist has gathered up there. The heat still oppressive, difficult to breathe. Just imagine walking through a sauna. Up ahead, you start to hear some sort of a chanting of sorts. You hear almost like a drill sergeant saying something about 1, 2, step in time, 1, 2, mind the line.
Oh no, they've militarized.
It should be fine. There can only be 2 of them.
Yeah, no more than 2.
So as you make your way past, these sets of massive pillars, you eventually can see another gate to sort of an interior part of the city, you can only assume. And there are about a half a dozen gully dwarves, again, with oversized halberds and spears in the air. And then one particular leader-like gully dwarf shouting out the chant, 1, 2, step in time, 1, 2, mind the line, and he's watching them march back and forth in front of a set of doors.
Please tell me you wrote that yourself. That's just awesome.
You're getting all me here. You're getting all me.
So should we respond with 1, 2, step in time, 3, 4, guard the door? See what they do?
Do you make that suggestion out loud?
Yes.
Then Steve does exactly that.
Okay. With that, they turn. The lead gully dwarf runs behind the line, and they level their spears and polearms in your general direction. And they say, halt! Are you supposed to come into this kingdom?
Yes.
Yes. Mind the
Gonna
line.
stick my invisibility cloak on and
Yes.
sort of scooch around to the other side of the room and say, of course they're supposed to be here. Let them in already.
Okay. So
Nice.
so Grenlead quickly does that, and the gully dwarves look confused at one another, and then they begin to nod. Well, okay. We'll take you to our leader.
Yeah, you should do that. We are take to the leader type people.
We'll take you to the High Fulfa.
Not the high bulb?
High Bulb.
Never mind.
They start looking back and forward, like back and forth, and they're like, wait. Hey, voice! Are they here for Fulfa?
They are my honored guests. Now show them some respect.
With that, they snap to attention, as best gully dwarves can. They throw up the lamest of salutes. And then they begin to push the doors open. Come on, then. Come on, now. We'll take you to Fulfa.
Lead on, good sir.
I keep hearing vulva on my headphones.
Fulfa. So-
I'm aware that it couldn't possibly be vulva.
So one of the gully dwarves comes over to look at you, and he is bright red from the heat. And as he scratches his belly, you can see like he leaves like little white impressions, obviously from the oppressive moisture and temperature down here. And I'll have everyone make another paralysis, poison, death again for me.
Do we have to roll every time you say moist? Is that what's going on?
Moist.
Yeah.
Moist.
I still got a -2, right?
If you're wearing heavy armor, you have to take the -2.
Lucky. Only -2.
I rolled a -1.
So Kira's okay. Grinnick's okay this time around. Benedict
Brooke's
is not.
okay.
Down.
So another
I'm down
Constitution.
to 16.
Grenlead fails, so another -1 from her Constitution.
Rook is going to look down at Sparks and say, "Don't you say a damn word."
So am I supposed to try
she's-
to match my constitution?
You're. Are you trying to match your Constitution? You're making a poison.
Yeah, with this roll.
No, you're making a poison death save.
Okay.
If it's successful, you don't lose a point of Constitution. If it's fail, you do lose a point of Constitution.
I got a 13.
Then I think you're okay.
It says it's green.
Yeah, it's green.
Then that's
Yeah.
good. That's a good sign.
Woohoo!
That's a good sign. I'm making this checks for
Mine-
Lorana, and
Mind the sauna.
so Lorana is not okay. Neither is Tika. They both go down by 1.
How about Spark?
Yes.
And worm.
And
I
Worm.
got a roll for Worm. Hold on.
You have to roll for everybody.
Everybody now. Rock your body now.
You do like your NPCs.
It's this damn campaign.
You think this is bad? You should see Monday nights.
So all of you,
I have.
follow this guy, and he takes you to. They take you to a massive building, and you walk down a wide corridor with large columns on either side, and the guard opens a set of double doors that leads into a huge court. At the far end, a semicircle of thrones sits on a raised dais. On one of the thrones sits another Agar dwarf, which is a gully dwarf. This one wearing a crown 3 sizes too big, ill-fitting robes, and the guard whispers to you as you approach, "Don't be afraid. It's just His Magnificence, the High Fulf."
I'll do my best to contain my fear.
So, the gully dwarves take up ranks on either side of you, and there's a few other gully dwarves in the room that quickly fall into rank, and you're surrounded by about a dozen gully dwarves. You're not afraid. When Rook says that to Spark, Spark whispers under her breath back to Rook, "Can you smell him?"
Just be quiet. Let's hear what they have to say.
Oh, I hate gully dwarves, she says.
And I'm sure they hate you, so shut up and be quiet and listen.
So, with that, the High Fulf looks down off his throne. "Welcome to my kingdom!"
Oh my god, that's the Goblin King for the Hobbit.
So he looks you all over. "What brings you here?" "Come on
We've
now,
come here
out with it!"
We've come here looking for shelter.
"Shelter from what?"
And you're from dragons. And I watched to see whether this is like he doesn't believe me or whether he knows full aware about dragons.
He totally starts to chuckle.
Well, and I kind of give a bow. And go,
"Lies!
what you say there?
Lies!"
Lies how? Lies that we need protection from dragons, or lies that you're not going to offer
"You
us your
have come to
hospitality,
the
my lord?
High Fluff to see the great treasure."
Nope.
No,
It
we're
can't
actually
be greater than the High Bulb's treasure.
"Who is this High Bulb?"
The king of the Gully Dwarves.
"I am the king of the Gully Dwarves."
nope.
The Eastern
no.
Gully Dwarves, yes.
Wait. Isn't Tobin the emperor now?
Yes.
"Clearly you are lost."
Absolutely, we are, Your Highness. But we have met others. We've actually met the Emperor of the Gully Dwarves. He was a friend of ours, Lord Tobin.
"What clan does Lord Tobin belong to?"
Apparently,
All of
according to
them.
him, all clans report to him.
"There is no such person."
I don't
You
know,
missed
sir.
the update. You missed the meeting.
I know that all other clans that we have met have paid fealty to him, and I start rhyming off the cities we were at, where there have been Gully Dwarves.
Sorry, what do you say?
I'm gonna shout from my spot amongst them, "All hail Lord Tobin," and then run around and say it somewhere else too.
Okay, at that point they're all looking around the room.
Told you. I look him right in the face. I told you. I mean you no disrespect, my lord, but clearly you've been under the mountain a little too long. This Lord Tobin commands all clans have paid him fealty, and he is the supreme emperor of all the Gully Dwarves.
Yeah, he is
How
big
long
and strong. He is very dangerous for gully dwarves.
Maybe you see the great treasure, and you could talk up the Fulf clan.
Sure, absolutely. If you wish to show us this treasure, but we really come here looking for safety. We're running from dragons, my lord. There are dragons that are combing these mountains as we speak.
I think the
And you'll
heat.
need-
I think the heat
No,
has
it's-
gotten to you. There's no such
No.
thing.
Yes, there are.
Did
They're
we
big
keep
and
anything
they're
from any of the dragons
terrifying.
that we've got? Did anyone keep anything from the? I think we got some scales from some of the dragons, don't we?
I think I got a tooth somewhere.
Yeah, I asked you to toss the tooth out. Show them.
So
Yeah,
he
here's
clambers
a tooth.
he clambers down off his throne.
Perfect. I can
Slides
kill
his
him
butt
No,
over.
we're not killing anybody.
He slides his butt
Okay.
over the edge of the dais, and as he does, you get like a clear shot of under his robes, and then he waddles towards you, And he is perhaps the smallest gully dwarf that you have ever witnessed.
I'm going to try to stand even taller and straighter if possible.
Listen,
So he feels even shorter.
let me see it.
Yeah.
He looks it over.
No, this is clearly the tooth of a carnivorous toad.
No, my lord. No, my lord. It's the tooth of a dragon.
I've seen it. I'll show you the bite marks.
And he starts to hike his robes up.
Whoa, whoa, whoa,
No.
whoa, whoa, whoa! I gotta tell them to blow his roads back there. We don't want to see it.
Nope.
There are ladies present, my lord.
Spark like face palms. Like, are you kidding me?
Yeah, just. And I put with other hand on shoulder of her. He's like, just calm down. That's it.
Hey,
Listen.
hey, Knight. Did Tobin say we're allowed to smack the ones that don't listen?
I think the knight's connection died. He's coming
The
back.
knight's coming back up. I basically look, sir. I go, look, Your Highness. Clearly, you're a rich and powerful tribe of rich and powerful
Clan.
clan of
Thank you.
clan of gully gnomes.
Clan Fulf.
Sorry, gully dwarves.
Clan Fulf.
Gully dwarves.
Clan Fulf.
What's that?
We're Clan Fulf. We're Clan
Yes,
Fulf.
exactly. And we need you. We're humbly asking you for a shelter for our people. We have approximately 1,000 people that need shelter.
Thousand. What number is this you speak of?
It's two.
It's more than two.
It's a lot.
And I hold my fingers. It's more than two.
He looks at his other gully dwarfs. He's like,
More than two.
It's more than two twos.
Two. There is two.
And then there's two twos.
No.
If
he's looking at you very like, no.
if you're as rich and as powerful as you are, well, I'm sure that your generosity and your would be equally as great.
I am not generosity. I am a specialist. You come with me, I show you the treasure. You take that to this Emperor Tobin. And you bring back great respect for the Fulfs.
And your hospitality for our sick and our wounded?
No,
Then why would we do that for you, my lord?
we only have room for two. You
That's
said
all we have is two.
no. You said more than two.
There can't be more than two.
I
The knight
agree.
gets confused.
You said so yourself.
Yeah.
Stop confusing us.
There's two.
I love how the moron is trying to trick the gully dwarf.
There is two.
Correct.
More than two.
He points to his 12 or so guards gathered here.
Two.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. And then I point at everyone in the room, including ourselves, and say two.
He thinks it over.
Oh, great.
He actually walks in a circle as he does so. His long, oversized robe dragging behind him like some ridiculous tail.
Well,
When will the Emperor come?
In
Oh.
2 days.
2 days?
Two.
always two. I knew you were doing that to him.
He grins and like you can just see all kinds of teeth missing. And he then says,
Very well, come with me. Mind the
I'm
line.
going to ask him, where are all the dwarves? I thought this was a dwarvish city. But when I say dwarf, I mean like mountain dwarves. Where are they?
They're all looking at one another like really insulted at what you just said.
I'm just asking. I thought they lived here with you in harmony.
Who?
I thought both Gully Dwarf and Mountain Dwarf lived in the city together as brothers.
Spark's like, never! She just can't
Put my
take it
hand on the
anymore.
belt.
Never in 100 years!
Oh, jeez. Jesus.
The king looks to her and then looks back to you and says,
She's right.
Oh, so you guys. So the
There are no mountain dwarves here, only Agar.
Okay, I'm just asking. I just heard that there were. That's
This
all. I thought
is an Agar city, can't you tell?
clearly it is. I'm an elf. Half elf, half human. I don't really understand dwarvish culture that well. I'm a pilgrim in a strange land.
the High King Fulf just like shakes his head and is like,
Stupid.
Truly, I am.
and then walks out like a side door from the chamber, and everyone begins to move that direction. If you don't move, a gully dwarf like points a spear at you and is like,
Mind the line.
Yeah, I'll go with the king.
okay. He leads you through what is a obviously once dwarven city, but you don't think it's Thorbarden. It just doesn't feel grand enough. It's the biggest underground city you've ever been in. It's probably the only underground city you've ever been in. But there's just something about it that you don't believe this to be Thorbarden.
Query: do we think it's big enough to hold everyone?
It could, but the heat is bloody oppressive here. Like, literally, every sort of half hour here, in game terms, people would be making saving throws. Like, the heat is just... The gully dwarves have obviously become accustomed to it. But, like, they're all, like, really pink and red. Like, they've been here, and, yeah.
Cooked.
Yeah, we couldn't bring all those people here.
No, not in a million years.
They wouldn't all fit in that side passage.
Nope.
You're the one cool
We
spot.
Gotta keep going, apparently.
Yep.
So, he leads you through to a chamber.
Mm-hmm.
Grinnick, it feels temple-like. Like, it has a purpose of worship. In the center of the room there's a monolithic slab of black stone. And before the stone is a circular dais of white stone with gold letters carved around the edge. The great High Fulf looks at it and says,
Strange writing indeed.
For those of you that can speak Dwarven, though, the inscription is written in an old dialect, but it is legible. It says, "Let him stand and ask, he who would receive knowledge."
Hmm.
And High Fulf is like,
Wonderful.
as he just looks up at it. The other gully dwarves do not appear impressed at all, but their king just thinks this is wonderful.
And this is the only thing here?
This is the only thing in the chamber. It is a large audience-like chamber. It has this dais of white stone in the center with inscriptions around the outside edge of it, and this massive black monolith stone standing in the center.
Steve's gonna wander around like a moron, looking at shit and maybe touching inappropriate things.
Okay.
Grinnick's going to walk up to the stone, raise his arms into the air, and ask if the gods have come back.
With that, fiery letters begin to glow up the black stone.
Holy shit balls.
And a voice, not necessarily from the rock, just sort of echoing across the chamber, sort of all-encompassing. A voice speaks out and says, "What has this to do with the dwarves of Thorbarden?" And the gully dwarf, High Highfalf comes into the circle and stands right beside you, Grinnick, and he says,
That's all it says to me. What has this to do with the dwarves of Thorbarden? That's all it says, but it's wonderful. I mean, do you have
we seek them?
Do you have a rock that does this?
We seek the great mountain dwarves of Thorbarden. We come to ask for their aid. Are they still around?
Okay, so when you say that, the red runes have not stopped glowing, but they continue to glow, and they even sort of undulate with power as the voice talks to you, and it says, following the cataclysm, the hill dwarves and men of Zaxaroth fled southwards, seeking refuge in the kingdom of the mountain dwarves. This kingdom, known as Thorbarden, could not support the hundreds and thousands of refugees, and so closed the gates against them. Disorganized and without leadership, the refugees proved no match against the organized and motivated forces of Thorbarden. Then came Fistandentalus, and I will say at this point that a shiver runs up Worm's back, and she begins to pay closer attention than probably before. Fistandentalus.
Is the voice sounding familiar to her?
Yeah, no, but the name does. Fistandentalus was an ancient magic user of the Age of Might that preceded the Cataclysm. Magic at that time was despised as an impure profession. Wizards both great and small became outcasts. Yet Fistandentalus foresaw a time when magicians would again be important in Krynn. He knew not when, but when the time came, he swore he would be there. The years came and went, but that day of magic rain did not come. Eventually, Fistandentalus used magical means to prolong his life, until there was nothing left of him except the magic. It was in this form that he greeted the cataclysm. It was in the rabble at Thorbarden's gate that he saw his chance to regain power he had lost. He built a magical fortress at the roots of a mountain, and formed a great army to take Thorbarden. The battle raged across the valley, and when his defeat looked certain, his vengeance knew no bounds. He loosed the most powerful magic he knew, and both the armies of his enemy and of his own were consumed. His mountain fortress was blasted until only the shattered and glazed form of a giant skull remained. Skullcap. Deep beneath Skullcap, legend has it, the remains of Fistandentalus remain, and the path to the gates of Thorbarden. At which point the runes begin to fade. That was a very big lore dump and a very big speech. I am making it available, though, in your journals right now.
Do we recognize the name Skullcap?
You've heard about Skullcap. Yep. No one's ever seen it, but you know that somewhere in the south, supposedly in the middle of a big bog, there is a mountain that looks like a skull, and its common name is Skullcap.
So this isn't Thorbarden. We have no place for the people to be. I'm getting so frustrated.
Makes me want to go kill some ogres.
Grinnick is just staring at Worm right now, trying to read her.
I think if Worm notices anyone looking at her, she probably very quickly just throws up her hood and moves away.
What do you say, guys? We go find this mountain, the skull.
I mean, it sounds like that
Well,
must be where they are.
Are we dragging 1,000 people with us?
No, we need to find a place to put them where they'll be able to hunt for food.
And this does not seem to be a hospitable place for them.
No.
Nope.
Bringing them into this dead-end valley maybe wasn't the greatest idea.
But what choice did we have?
But we didn't have another choice. The only other thing I can think of is if there's a back way out of this tunnel. If we keep going down or out the other side.
But the problem with that is bringing all those people through here. Some of those people there are not going to make that journey.
Well, if we go through the dragon army behind us, none of them are going to make the journey.
So just to be clear, there is the cool tunnel that bypasses
the super hot part, yeah.
And
yeah, because we came back the hot way.
Yeah,
right?
there was another intersection on the far side
to the south.
So I want you to think of the tunnel comes in from the north. Yeah. It then splits. Down one side is the hot tunnel, steam tunnels that I'm talking about, where the gully dwarves are. They have this city here. But if you go the cool side, it goes around that and then meets another sort of Y intersection that either goes back to the steam tunnels or continues to where you could smell and feel cool, fresher air.
Yeah, we came back to the steam tunnels from the other side. So
That's
we could
correct.
go back. We could take them through the
back,
bypass and out the other end.
Let's go there.
Go check it out.
There.
We might have to take care of those ogres because they're going to hear the wagons and 1,000 people moving through. But
that's fine. But I would rather that we go look at what we're dealing with outside first.
That's what I'm saying. Let's go scout ahead.
To deal with that. Yeah.
100%.
Steve, you can fight the ogres after we look at what's outside.
We're going to fight them in armor in a cooler area.
Hey!
Promise?
Hey!
Yes.
There's a king in the room!
Yes, Tiny King.
Mind the line, sir.
We are going to talk to the Emperor at some point, right?
Yes, we will tell Emperor Tobin about you.
You tell him about my treasure here.
Yes, we will tell him about the beautiful treasure.
Hail Tobin!
Hail Tobin!
He looks around for that voice again.
I've never heard that voice before in my life.
Well,
that's the power of Emperor Tobin.
Emperor Tobin.
That is the herald of Tobin.
A herald?
Yes.
You should get you one.
That's what I need, a herald.
Yes, or a Frank, but heralds are better.
The other gully dwarves are looking around, not sure what to make of all this.
Are they ever sure?
The ogres that are outside, do you know them? Are they friends of yours?
No.
Okay.
We don't like ogres.
You
Just
never
making
know.
sure because they're probably gonna end up dead.
It's okay. I think there's only 2.
Good to know.
Yes,
Yep.
we only saw 2.
I'm pretty sure.
There's 2.
If it's not 1, it's 2, right?
Come, we will give you something to eat and send you on your way to Emperor Tobin.
Oh God.
Sounds good.
No, it really doesn't.
There's no reason to piss him off just yet.
You know what? Here's the deal.
Well,
I'll eat as much as you do of their food.
That's true.
So they bring you you are the guests of King Fulf. There is constant chatter that the Gully Dwarf Emperor suddenly it sounds more like they have like it's a prophecy now. They're just all in on your lie, and they're like,
it's not a lie.
We knew it. They're like, we told you at some point the Emperor was coming for us. That's right. At some point, the Agar were going to step up above other dwarves, and this is our time. So, and the dinner is mostly mushrooms that have probably been cultivated and grown down here in the moist environment.
Do they look magical?
They do not look like magical mushrooms. It's sort
Do
of
they
like
look edible?
it's sort of like a cream of mushroom gruely sort of. Each of you get a what looks to be like a copper bowl with a spoon. And the king sits at the end, and his servants come in and bring you your mushroom chowder.
Fuck, lead it.
Those are words you want.
Can
I'm
I have everybody, since a fair amount of time has passed, can I have everybody make me another saving throw to see if their constitution
Probably
dips?
not.
No, my luck's gonna run out, so no.
So that means I would have made it, except for the -2.
Yeah.
I made it. I got 13.
Yeah, so if you make it, if you get a green or a blue, blue means you tied it, and that's good. But if you get a green, then you've made your saving throw, and you don't lose a point.
No, but the blue means I tied it before the -2. Because my roll is 11 on my character sheet.
And what does the saving throw on your character sheet say? It should
On the character sheet
13?
it says 11, and I had a 9.
Okay, then yeah, you failed.
Even though it's blue.
So did Lorana. Yeah, unfortunately, it has no way of working in the modifier. For the roll.
Oh,
I
no,
got
I
excited
failed
for a
it. I
second.
thought I made it. I failed it. I gotta take mine
You know
down.
better than to do that.
Yeah, everybody.
Somehow, Steve made it again.
Okay.
Rolled a 19.
Still carrying Grinnick's armor.
I know.
Grinnick failed
right?
all of his rolls.
Anybody?
No armor.
So anybody who's
Love it.
lost. Anybody who's lost. Hey, Tamani20, how are you? Anybody who's lost 2 points of Constitution in this regard from the steam and the heat, you're maybe like as you eat this sort of
gods.
mushroom chowder, you're starting to feel like sort of sleepy.
Queasy?
No, not queasy. It's just kind of like you're putting food in and you're hot and tired and you're just getting a little dopey and you could take a nap.
Nap time's coming.
Yeah.
We need to get back to the cool tunnel.
Like now.
Yeah.
Like now.
Thanks
Steve
for the
has a
food. Gotta
plan.
go.
And incidentally, even Spark, the heat's starting to get to her.
Steve has a plan.
Is it a good plan,
Yeah,
Steve?
Steve always has a plan.
It's a Steve plan. Let's see how this goes. So here's what I think we should do. Everybody except Rook and Kira and Spark, we go back and start getting the people. And they go ahead to make sure nothing's in the way down the path.
That's not bad. Rook and
Okay,
I could
actually.
definitely scout ahead.
And then we will bring a bunch of the plainsmen and those stupid drunk dwarves, and we'll just bum rush the ogres.
Make them come to us in the cool part of the tunnel. Instead of
Sure,
going down.
if you want to be all fancy and tricky, sure. My plan was just to run in screaming with like 50 things.
Well, if we send one person that will run away, they will chase. Because they like beating up little things. If I remember correctly. From my vast experience with ogres.
I wish we had someone on our team who was really fast.
Didn't we run into ogres on the way to Pax Tharkus?
Trolls.
That was trolls.
When you were when you were traveling to Solus through the mountains, you ran into some trolls.
Okay.
And I don't think you've met ogres since.
I don't think so.
I like
They
the
seem
plan.
like it.
What was that?
There's a bunch of us hiding in the side tunnel.
Okay, so sorry.
Oh, I said I like the plan.
Okay. So are we leaving? We're leaving and going. Like, you're not going the way that Rook found ogres before. You're going back.
We're gonna go back to the second Y.
The second Y, yes.
Why?
Oh, dear.
Because it's cool. We can cool off a bit and then divide
You
and
missed the
conquer.
joke. Carry on.
Okay.
Why?
Okay. Why?
I chose to ignore
Why
it.
go to the Y? Okay, so you reach the second Y, and Rook Spark is like, oh, I'm gonna have to bathe when I get back.
Didn't realize you were such a racist, Spark.
You are far too young to be so angry.
You don't understand. Gully dwarves are like.
We've met gully dwarves before.
And
our Fender ended up being their king. So that tells you how that went.
And honestly, I would rather sleep in a big pile with gully dwarves than have to do it with one draconian.
Grenlead, if I could give you disadvantage, you would get it for that joke. Unacceptable. Because it's fun to stay at the Y.
Painful. I'm sorry. Sorry, not sorry.
Sorry, not
Isn't
sorry.
it so fun they wrote a song about it?
I think so.
Yeah.
So you leave the gully
People in a village somewhere?
You leave the gully doors behind, you follow the other tunnel, and sure enough, it brings you out. If we're looking at the overland map, I'm going to move the eye, okay?
Move the purple butthole.
It brings you out all the way over here, like almost 2 miles away, but on the other side of those steep mountains.
Perfect.
Nice.
And does it look like there's it looks like there's a forest there?
Yes, the fog and clouds that were in the other valley are not here, but there is a large amount of trees and forest.
Okay. Well, that means hunting then. More food.
And cover.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's go get the people.
Where on the map do they think the that mountain would be?
Skullcap?
Yeah.
Way down in the south.
Way to the down here where I'm pinging.
Okay, so you guys go back and get the people, and you want me to go ahead and scout forward?
No.
No. Okay.
No.
Are you sure?
Yes,
Not
we're
that
going.
far, no.
Okay.
We're going to need your bow.
We got ogres to
Grennick's
deal
gonna
with.
put his armor back on.
All right. Let's go back to the
Oh.
ogres then.
So Grinnick puts his armor back on?
Praise Reox. That stuff was
Okay.
getting heavy even for me.
So you go back using the cool workaround tunnel, and you get back to the people, and I'm gonna say that when you reach there, like you have spent an entire day walking from one end of that tunnel to the other, and your interactions with the gully dwarves, and if I can have everyone give me one last poison death save.
Has anyone called you a name yet this session?
That's the first one.
But we're in the workaround tunnel.
Yes, this is not for the heat. This is for the mushroom soup you ate.
So no -2
No -2.
due to armor.
No -2 due
See
to
if I can
armor.
actually make one.
Just
Yeah,
roll
this
it.
one.
Hey, I made one. Yay.
Just roll it straight up. So Grenlead has failed. Kira has failed.
Oh no, that's what Steve failed.
I have failed every single roll today.
The iron stomach failed the eating test.
Apparently. The heat was fine. Carrying armor and somebody else's armor. Good. Little
You
mushroom
don't like
soup?
mushrooms.
Apparently not. They don't like me.
Must be
Really
allergic.
going through it today.
Yeah. It's like real life. I'm allergic to stuff.
And we're going to roll for Tika here.
It's going in epileptic shock.
Anaphylaxis.
That's
Anaphylaxis.
epileptic.
I've never seen
Okay.
epileptic shock before.
So, listen. Tika failed.
Gully
Lorana
Dwarfs must have
failed.
before.
Worm failed. Steve failed. Grenlead failed. And Kira failed. So,
Oh, yeah. I asked earlier, has anybody called you a name yet today?
No. Would you like to? Would you like to?
Yeah, because you suck, you poopy head. Carry on.
Okay. So what you get is a case of the steam tunnel shroom splatters. And
the galloping trots. Fuck.
all of you, when you make it back to the camp, like it's not long before you're all finding trees.
That's a really shitty thing to do to the party.
Even the even the delicate Princess Lorana
it's his
is
number
like
2 plan.
is like a trumpet behind a tree. Yeah.
And the magic is over.
It's a very proper, classy trumpet, though.
Yeah, it's horrible. It's horrible, and it's not solid at all. And
Thanks.
yeah, so those of you that failed, sort of paint the woodlands with a spray gun.
I've heard the Paint It Black song. I don't know about
Mind
Paint
the
It Brown.
splatter. Mind the splatter.
You all at some point fall asleep that night.
Eventually.
Lorana and Kira do not spoon for fear of
They do the reverse
I
spoon.
thought she was like not by me most of the time, anyways.
I assume she was still sleeping with you at night.
Okay.
Okay.
Fine.
So by morning, anyone who has constitution lost for heat, that has left you, unless you failed your saving throw from the mushrooms. At which point that constitution drain stays in effect. As you did
I
not
made the one roll that matters.
As you did not have the best of sleep.
It was apropos to call you a poopy head.
Do I get another hit point back for the glorious night of rest I had for not shitting myself?
That's right. You get a hit point back. Everyone gets a hit point
Perfect.
back. Everyone gets a hit point back, even if you failed your save. But the heat exhaustion has not left you if you failed your saving throw.
Okay, so what if you only failed your shit throw?
But didn't have
good?
Learn how to
Yeah.
throw shit better.
I had absolutely no heat stroke.
Okay, you just had the splatters.
Just the trots.
Okay, then you're okay come morning.
Perfect.
Everyone's okay come morning. You do not have a drop left in the tank. It is all, you have certainly marked your
in the
territory.
forest.
Exactly.
It's in the forest. Okay.
So in the
No longer
morning,
the green forest.
in the morning, a council meeting is called, and the councilors come together. Grinnick, you sit on the council, and the rest of you are still invited, even though you are not technically a voting member. Grinnick holds your vote. So with that, they ask what what you found down there, and are you feeling better? As many of is it catchy what you got?
Only
Yeah.
if you eat mushrooms.
No. We found a way through the mountain that will get us to better hunting grounds and a better place for all these people.
Okay.
It's a little bit warm, but the way we're going isn't dangerous. The other way is. So we'll need the plainsmen to be making sure that no one veers off the path.
All right.
And we need about 12 to 20 people who want to go beat up an ogre.
Or two.
And there's
No more than two.
There's at least two.
They're
No more than two.
They're sure they can find people to help with that.
Perfect.
They also Briar, the head plainsman, also tells you that the scouts that were set up by Benedict have reported back in, and the dragon army is moving or starting to make its way around the lake this day. So they don't think it's, if they could reach this valley by sort of nightfall.
Good.
Yeah.
We're
gotta
not going
We
to
could
be
be
here.
on the other side.
Okay. So everyone, so then the plan is, Elliston just, sums up what you're saying then. So the plan is that we break camp today and we make our way through the cave to the other side.
And
We
if
might
there's any
not.
way to collapse this end of the tunnel, we probably should do that as well.
Yeah, there's not much room for the wagons,
We
though.
can figure that out.
Yeah, Worm kind of smiles.
Can we get the wagons through, though?
Though it
I
will
think
be
so.
difficult, but yes, the wagons can make it this route.
Okay.
Then yeah, we definitely should do that. Get the kids and elderly up first and get them moving.
So the ogres eat them, and then we take vengeance. The soldiers should.
Oh, Jesus Christ!
So the party and a
Critical
large.
You gotta be-
Ellison and
you-
says, that's
You
my
okay,
vote.
Artie?
Sorry, that's you.
Been a
What
day.
with what Ellison says? You agree to that, Grinnick?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I say that's my vote, but we got to move fast.
Yeah, it's quickly voted unanimous that they will attempt to pass through this cavern, and everyone sort of gets their things. They disperse from the meeting and start right away breaking down camp and getting ready to move. Now, so we're going into the caves with a whole bunch of extra muscle power to take on the ogres. Is that correct?
Yep.
Okay.
Do we have a fast runner? Somebody who has blonde hair, maybe. Someone
Yes.
short who is lippy.
Somebody who's good with the heat, though.
Sparks
Did all right.
I did
And if
okay.
she-
What do you need me to
Is it
do?
Go down and
You're-
ask them for more gold coins, and then
You're
run
bait.
when they chase you.
You have
Okay.
bait.
So just so I'm sure we're clear on this, we're using the young dwarven girl as bait to lure the ogres out of the steam.
No, we're not. No,
Only if she
Rook's,
agrees.
Rook's not letting that happen.
Okay.
We're not going to force her to do it.
She's-
Aw, Rook, you
Rook,
do
she's
care.
like, Rook, Spark is like, I can do that.
I thought you said
Yeah,
she was a
hell, you-
warrior, Rook.
She's fast.
You shut it. Then I look at her. I go, and you shut it and stay put. I'll make the ogres come this way.
Okay, as much as I would like to play out the combat of half a dozen ogres against you and 20 barbarians, I don't think that's necessary.
Yeah, I
So,
don't think so either.
The idea is that Rook baits them out and you wallop them, right?
Yes,
Do we
yes.
lose any hit points?
No, I'm not even going to worry about that. So you slaughter.
How much loot do we get?
There's like 6 or 7 ogres. They don't have any loot on them. They just have their belongings and food. So with the ogres dead, the caravan progresses through the cavern, going around the steam caves. But as you reach the Y on the far side, there are gully dwarves waiting for you, and King Fulf has brought pots of chowder to feed your friends in the hopes that you will pass on good news to Emperor Tobin.
We're allergic to mushrooms. We found out last night, but we will bring your goodwill and your offer of food to the Emperor.
Yeah, humans have trouble with your...
Please,
with your,
by all means, take the food.
yes, we will take the food.
We will take it with us on our journey, yes. We'll eat it later. We're in a hurry, though. But thank you for your kind gesture.
As they're sort of people are like getting their bowls out to take ladles full as they pass.
No,
Later. Start slapping hands.
So you don't allow any.
Invisible. I'll go down the line and slap
No.
the balls out of everyone's hands.
mind the
No time
line.
to eat.
Go around.
Keep moving. Mind the line.
Mind the line.
Take it with.
Mind the line. As
Put it on the last wagon.
as you do that, as you're doing that, like all the gully dwarves are like saying to the people passing by, "Oh, well wishes for Emperor Tobin. Tell Tobin we're here waiting for his return."
Yep.
I think
Hopefully they're
you're
smart enough
muted,
to smile
Captain.
and nod as
if
they
you're
walk
talking
by.
No, Rook's gonna take the king aside and warn him that the dragon army is behind us and is coming this way, and maybe they ought to come with us.
Worm gonna do something about the tunnel?
We're going to collapse the tunnel so they can't follow.
Yeah, but just in case.
You really want to be adding gully dwarves?
When
to
did
the
you become a
mess that we already
humanitarian,
have?
Rook?
Yeah.
Sorry,
Rook's still
No.
trying to pay for
Just
that
to be clear.
murdering that somebody.
the
Just 'cause you
lightning
killed the wrong
the
guy,
lightning
then you're
bolt
guilty.
spell. The lightning bolt spell is clear that it can do what you're asking. Like it can actually
Yeah.
destroy, like shatter rock and everything. So if you would like,
Yes.
Yes.
This can be done.
Yes.
To collapse the
Yes.
tunnel behind us.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, once everybody is well and clear,
This is something
let
Gilfith
her
would
rip.
do.
It's definitely something she would do.
Oh, wait.
Whether we let her or not, she would do it.
Wait. She should only collapse the cool tunnel on that side, and then she should collapse the cool tunnel. Then they'll all go through the hot tunnel, and then she can collapse it again later if she has two. Does she have two lightning bolts?
I would assume it would take more than one lightning bolt to collapse the tunnel, but let me check her character sheet here.
Why? So then they'll still have to come in through the heat and then get stopped later. So we're adding insult to injury.
Unless there are certain type of draconian.
She
that
can
doesn't-
memorize 2 lightning bolts, but it
Yeah,
would
you'll
take
need
both
those.
lightning
Never mind.
bolts to collapse a tunnel. So are we going to just collapse the tunnel by the mist-shrouded valley once the last of the
exit.
caravan is in?
Maybe it's better to collapse the exit.
Either one, I don't care, as long as they can't
Yeah.
follow us.
It should be the exit. It's going to be a lot harder for them to clear it if they're in a tunnel, baking in the heat.
Okay, so you guys don't collapse it on the mist side. You make your way around the cool tunnel, which goes around the steam tunnels, and out into the valleys in the south, so down here. And then once you emerge into those valleys, you're going to have Worm collapse that end of the tunnel, correct?
Yes.
Agreed.
I'm sure the dragon can still pick up our tracks, but it'll at least slow the army down.
Okay, so as you
fucking near
as you
stop it for
reach
days.
as you reach the southern exit, thin clouds of vapor billow from this archway carved into the stone of the mountain. Just the heat coming out, right? Over the arch are the carved dwarvish runes. Exit ye hereby, the lands of Thorbarden, leaving on the road behind you the justice of the 9 thanes below. And the cobblestone road runs for a little bit out of the mouth of this opening and then is lost in the dirt and whatnot. So where would we like to take the group, everybody? You're looking down on a valley. You can clearly see that it wraps around to the north and also heads further south.
Well, we know the direction we eventually want to get to, whether it's with this group of refugees or not. So we'd probably want to find a valley that's...
What was that?
If we can, drop them off. Find a place for them.
I mean, obviously the safest place is going to be if we can find the mountain dwarves, but I don't want to drag them all the way there on an if.
Yeah, I think if they got a nice spot with hunting grounds and good cover, we just leave them. And we continue on, and then if we find that Thorbarden is available, then we can go get them.
Come back for them, yeah. If they'll accept the refugees. That's the other thing. We can go all the way there with 1,000 people and get turned away.
Yeah. If we leave them like here, kind of where this gap is, and then we come down this way.
Yep.
Is that more like what we're thinking? Like if we leave the refugees here in this.
So you're saying to park the
where they're
refugees
covered.
like here, where I put the eye?
Or this one down here.
Can we get
if that's
there though?
better? Can we get them there easily? Because that like up here is only like 4 miles away from the tunnel that we just collapsed, right?
Yeah, they're going to be a couple 3 days getting out of there though if she collapsed it.
Okay. So if we bring them down, like through this gap here where the trees come through, if we bring them down through here and then this way, can we get them into this valley here?
You would have to maybe send a ranger or two.
Or
okay, so Rick and I go scout ahead.
Okay.
There's a nice lake down here.
Take
Either
this.
way,
Take this.
I don't care.
Yeah. We'll take them
this
all the
blonde
way.
person.
She's fast.
We'll take the short one with us.
She's fast.
Do we have to?
Yeah.
Do we have to?
Yes,
Oh.
Rook.
She's obviously
3,
important
let's
to
go.
you.
Okay.
Yeah, you wouldn't let us feed her to ogres, so she's your problem now.
She's yours now.
Can I get we're going to fast track here a little bit. Can I get both rangers to make a ranger tracking check?
Yep.
Remember on this roll, your lower is better, right?
Do they get advantage for having Spark with them?
Does Spark go with the two of you?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely.
We're gonna send her back as soon as like Rook and I find a way that's safe. We'll send her back so she can have everybody start getting ready. To come
I rolled a
this way.
72.
Okay.
100.
Holy shit!
And Kira rolls a natural 100. Nice. I'm gonna double check.
They end up back
I'm
in
gonna
the Mist Valley.
I'm double checking the Ranger tracking rules just to make sure we're doing this right. So just give me a second here. Talk amongst yourselves.
Okay. No, we don't want to. We're just gonna watch
So
you.
how was everybody's week?
Yeah, lower is better. Lower is better.
Better than your day.
And Rook got a 72.
Apparently.
Yeah.
Okay, so listen. Rook and Kira, you both find a way sort of to bring them... Watch the eye now. Actually, I'll see if I can... I think I can just put a line in here.
It's a
Can you see this line?
Yep.
Yep.
Okay, so basically you find a way to bring them down through here and into this valley. However, during your scouting, you can spot that this valley has a lake. The trees in this valley here are frozen. Like, there is a cold draft and these are frozen, and you think this is the better place.
Okay. Can we get there though?
Okay, so you can get there by this sort of route.
Okay, but
the
Yep, there's always a
the two of you know you're going to lose people. Right here is where you're going to take. Hold on. Right here is where you think you're going to take losses because there is not an easy way down into that valley. Not that
Just
Not way down is easy.
not going this way. If you would like to take more time to try and find another alternate route, you're welcome to do that.
Yeah, I say we split up and try to find a better route. See which one of us finds something. We'll meet
Like
back here.
you just there's the steep drops into the valley from that side. You think people are bound to fall and hurt themselves, if not worse.
yeah, and we've got wagons.
And wagons will have to get left behind.
Yeah.
And
So,
Okay,
like
yeah.
Rook and I say we'll take like a couple of hours because I'm assuming it's getting to be
no,
like
this is
afternoon now.
this is like a full day of ranging for the two of you. If you want to find an alternate route, it will take another day, which means
Okay.
which means your refugees are sitting in this place for 2 days.
But they're sitting under tree cover and
They
lighting
are
as few
under
fires as possible.
They are
You know
under
what?
tree
Here's-
cover, and you're using
here's
as
what we'll
few
do.
fires as possible.
Kira,
And
why
they're
don't you
gonna
go
be
back?
No, we'll
Sorry?
send Spark back. Have them hunt. Tell her to have
No.
them hunt.
Have them come to this area, and by this time we should find another. One of us can find another path.
Down
Have
into
them get to
down
the-
into this first valley.
Yeah, down in the first, so they keep moving because that army's coming. You bring them to that valley. I'm going to find another way for us to get around.
Have them hunt on the way.
Absolutely, the plainsmen are hunting on the way. You get them, but get them moved to here, and I'll see if I can find another way.
Okay,
They can
Look,
always
I-
eat
I
the mushroom
write all
soup.
of
So,
that down.
let's
write all
jump
of that
back.
down and give
Let's
it
jump
to
back to Grinnick and Grenlead and Benedict and everybody who's back with the refugees. So again,
Right?
spirits are running relatively high. All of you have noticed this, that like there is a much higher level of morale in the group of refugees. They have lost more people, but not, they would have lost more had they been had the dragon armies.
Hurt by dragons?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And when I say lost, we're talking like a dozen people, another dozen or so
Versus
people
all of them.
of the 1,000 have been lost. And we're talking about old or injured people that just, they're tired and they give out in the night type thing. Rook and Kira, you anticipate will not be back this evening. They're out trying to find a way for the group to continue to move south and out of this area of mountains you're in. It's about, so it's night. It's a relatively clear sky. The fires are being kept low. When I'm gonna say Grinnick and Grenlead, maybe the two of you are sitting together. with a number of other hill dwarves. Sort of, I'm going to say that there's even sort of like not sort of a campfire song, more like an old hill dwarf chant being done. And this is something that the two of you haven't been around this, living in Solus and all that. So to have these dwarves and these old hill dwarf chants going, I don't want to say how you feel, but I would anticipate, that it's nostalgic maybe, or it's a piece of like what you didn't get in your being raised in sort of a mixed community like Solus. And as that's happening, at first, it just starts with everyone going silent. But there's 3 moons on Krynn, a white, a red, and a black moon. And it's just the way the sun reflects off their surfaces. But the white moon is like in full effect tonight. And across that moon, the dwarves and yourselves notice the shapes of dragons flying. 3 of them. And they're not anywhere near the encampment. It's unlikely they can see you, but they're silhouetted by the moon and the mountains to you. And they would be off in this direction to the west. But everybody quiets down. There's a general hush that goes through the entire camp. So Benedict, maybe you're sitting somewhere with people, maybe eating something. Steve, Tika, Worm sitting together somewhere. And, that sort of spreads through the whole camp. And everybody hushes. People douse fires. You're not even sure they need to douse fires. These silhouettes are small against this massive moon in the sky as they fly across the western edge of the valley. What if anything, would anyone like to do?
Steve's gonna laugh. Just start laughing. Acting like a general jackass to try to make sure that at least the kids around aren't so spooked. I believe some general pratfalls and poor juggling might be in order. I might try to sing one of Tobin's songs as well as I can remember it.
Okay.
So
generally
trying to distract people.
You and
this sucks.
Steve and Tika have kind of become a bright spot in the the caravan is the right word, but the refugee line. And as you do that, there is a large number of people that begin to join in with you, nervously at first, and then a little more boisterous.
I show no fear.
Elliston appears near Grinnick and Grenlead and looks to the 2 of you and the dwarves that are gathered there. And he says, they're never going to stop coming, are they?
All we can do is continue to survive. That's all we can do. Even if they keep coming, we have to fight and survive.
One of the dwarves, looking at this and hearing what Elliston says, looks to the let's say it's Spark's dad. Who we have come to know as Dauntle Flintrock. And
Dauntle
Flintrock. And Dauntle says, why do they hate you so, Grinnick? Why do they hate these people? Why? I don't understand what would drive them up into the frigid mountains to find you.
Because we are good and they are evil. Simple as that, lad.
That simple explanation just kind of hangs there, and you can tell everybody is considering, is it just that cut and dry, and they're looking back and forth amongst themselves, and there's a very long pause after you say that. And as they watch the dragons fly across the moon and then tilt their wings and head sort of over the mountains in this direction. Benedict, do you want to do that?
Yes.
So you start reciting the Ballad of Huma.
Yep.
Also known as the Canticle.
Nice.
Also,
reminding the people that there are good dragons out there, and what we've already accomplished in the previous Dragon Wars.
Excellent. Do you lead that ballad?
That is worthy
Absolutely.
of inspiration.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Absolutely.
So you stand, and one by one, the pockets of people that are sort of spread out across the valley move closer so that they can hear it. And the Ballad of Huma is a story that these people knew long, long ago. It was recited many times before the Cataclysm, when the gods were in their lives. Not specifically theirs. We're talking universally here in the people's lives. And, one by one, the different groups coming over join in the reciting of the Canticle of the Dragon. And it's not long before, everybody is either, it's kind of like the singing of the national anthem. There are some loud people that always, very pridefully belt out the anthem. But even those that, aren't like that, they're still maybe whispering it under their breath or humming along. So for just that moment, you feel like you've captured the spirit of the camp. And and everyone falls to sleep that night, maybe with a little less fear. So Kira, you return with Spark.
No, I write all of that information down and send Spark back.
Okay.
Me and Rook are gonna split up and try and find a better way to get the wagons through to the lake there.
Thank you for the cheer, Chris. Okay, so let's have you and Rook make another tracking check for me, please.
Come on, natural one. All right.
I got a 43.
Yeah,
You
you're
both
better than
rolled
me.
better than last time.
Yeah, 174 was 72 was too easy to beat.
Okay. So, Kira, you find a trail.
Do I see the stag?
You don't see the stag. Kira does this on her own this time.
This is the way.
This is the way.
I don't know if you can see this sort of
Yep.
chaotic
Yeah, I can see it.
trail that I've just drawn.
Yes, I see it.
It's the long way around, but it'll
But get them there safely.
it'll reach the valley without any
Okay.
sort of, stuff.
Yep. Good enough.
You have one issue, Kira, with this trail. I'm going to ping the map on the hex. This hex right here.
Yep.
The canyon narrows there. There are massive drifts of snow piled high on the mountains on either side of the canyon here.
I'm worried about an avalanche.
The drifts creak and groan under their weight, and you can't help but fear of a possible avalanche in this canyon.
Okay. I have an idea for that, but I will wait until I get back to Rook for sure.
So
Is
you
your
Just gonna fall in the
idea
lightning
worm
bolt.
shaped? Yeah, I think your idea is worm-shaped, isn't it?
Flame ham.
That's Plan B.
Okay, so listen,
Oh, cool.
Don't tell Worm it's Plan B.
you and Rook meet back up, and Rook, you have not found anything easy. You have found alternate routes, but they're no easier than the original one that was found.
Yep. All right, sure,
Yeah,
sure that
I
I didn't do much better.
Okay, so actually Plan B becomes Plan A. So
Yep.
we're gonna go back and we're gonna talk to Worm. And okay, Plan B is gonna be we're gonna muffle the wagons. However we can figure out how to do that, we're gonna muffle the wagons. We're gonna muffle everybody. I realize that's a really shitty plan, but my Plan A probably isn't much better. So we're gonna go find Worm, and then once we talk to Worm about exactly what it is that Worm can fucking do, because obviously she's been keeping some secrets from us. But once we can figure out exactly what it is that she can do, we're gonna come up with a plan of how to either knock that avalanche down beforehand and get through it, or a way to like solidify it up so it doesn't come down.
Well, my thought was maybe we can go send some guys like on skis, maybe myself and a few others ahead with horns, and we can blow and cause the avalanche before the wagons ever get there.
Right, that's what I was saying. So like if we cause the avalanche to come down, and then if we can see exactly what it is that Worm can do, if we can get a way through it, so we can get the wagons
But
through.
the avalanche will
burning
block
hands.
the path.
Then the burning hands could melt the avalanche, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Or
how
the
far-
lightning
well,
bolt.
okay, you guys aren't there, so I'm talking to Worm, or not to Worm, to Rook. And
Sorry.
I don't know how powerful her stuff is. I know she's still learning, but I saw the lightning she did, and
Yeah.
Even accidentally, she's dangerous. So
I'll get it.
let me say that Spark reaches back to the encampment not long after daybreak, and she's exhausted and tells everybody that, you know, the plan is to move forward into the next valley to the west.
wagon.
And people begin to do that, and the wagons start rolling sort of in this direction, right? Because we're headed for here.
Yeah.
Our two rangers are waiting for you know for these people to reach you, assuming Spark got back and told them. As the two of you are waiting, you spot movement in the valley below where you're headed to.
Okay.
Not a large amount of movement. A single man. As he gets closer, you see a ragged old man with a long beard and a floppy hat. And he seems to be in deep conversation. As he stops, he begins a deep conversation with a tree.
Steve is gonna love this guy.
Would we have heard of him at all?
Well, he is wearing sort of light, whitish gray robes and a big floppy hat.
And we would have heard from the dwarves, right?
Yeah, the
One
dwarves
of the
told you
dwarf
about
kids
him.
talked about him.
Okay. I kind of look at Rook. Like,
Yep.
we're gonna go talk to him?
Absolutely. Do you want to go by
Okay.
yourself when I cover you, or do you want me to go and you cover me?
I'll go.
All right, I'll cover you. I go into hiding and let her go forward.
Okay.
I'm just gonna
As
notch my bow.
as-
I'm not worried, but just in case.
As Kira approaches, the man looks befuddled at the tree as he berates it every curse word that you could ever imagine. And he is accusing the tree of trying to trip him.
Accuses the tree of trying to trip him?
Yes, very much so. And then he will pause and wait for it to respond. Like, you reached out that root and tried to snag my foot. I saw it. I saw it as clean as day. Don't just stand there. Answer me.
approach slowly.
Yes. He turns around and he sees you. And he looks at you with very kind eyes.
Greetings, grandfather.
You saw it. She saw it. Tried to trip me. Clearly.
Well, what did you do to offend them?
Offend them?
Why else would they try to trip you?
I hadn't thought of that. He then goes to sit down on a log and misses it slightly and sort of slides off and pulls himself back up, whacks it with his stick like it did it intentionally. What are you doing here?
Waiting for quite a number of people.
An old road passed through here. Perhaps you're on the highway. That would make me a highwayman.
Okay, well, keep your hands where I can see them then.
Is your friend going to join us?
Would you like him to?
Well, I certainly wouldn't want to make him.
Sort of look over where Rook is and motion him down.
My bow away, and I come out.
Beware the trees! Beware the trees!
Thank you, grandfather. I will.
Grandfather?
Are you Fizbin?
And he just looks at you with the biggest shit-eating grin. Fizbin? Is that my name?
I've not heard that name in a long time.
A long time.
And that's where we'll end for tonight. And we'll pick up again next Sunday. Yeah. We have Fizbin now. Bit of an iconic character.
He's gonna be
We'll
so
try.
happy when
We'll try to do him
Get
as
real.
much justice as possible.
I take it he's canon of some sort.
Yeah.
He
Oh,
is.
yeah.
Well,
Oh,
in fifth
okay.
edition, you
even
may
I know who that is.
you may have noticed the book Fizbin's what's it called? Fizbin's
Yeah,
Dragons or something.
Fizbin's something, yeah.
Yeah, there's a 5e book based off of him.
Yeah. Yeah.
Fizbin's Treasury of Dragons.
There you go. Fizbin the Fabulous.
Fizbin the fucking screwy.
Absolutely.
Steve's gonna love him.
That was great, Jeff. I would have loved to have ended on your telling of Huma. I wanted to get Fizbin in tonight though, so I apologize. But that was an amazing suggestion, and yeah, very good. I enjoyed that.
Thanks.
I enjoyed that. Let's see if
Seems
there's
like
someone
the-
around we can raid.
You proved you're worth an army by doing that. Seriously, that does huge things on morale. I'm telling you, on late nights when guys can sing, that's a big deal.
Yeah.
I agree.
We've got
I agree.
Massive Rems up, Grouch Couch, Total Party Show.
I have the adventure archive. Do we know who the adventure archive?
I don't think they're. Oh, are they on right now? Yeah, they rated you.
Let's raid them back, shall we?
I'm trying to remember when that was, but they brought in a huge raid one night.
The adventure archive.
Yeah, it was on a Sunday. They came in with a huge raid.
So listen, I missed it with the sound issues at the start. If you didn't know, we are sponsored by Canadian Dice. That's canadiandice.ca. You can go over there to get all your dice needs as well as other stuff. They have lots of other great D&D stuff. Use the code OMRD, the initials for Old Men Rolling Dice, and you can get 10% off all that stuff and make yourself, Christmas gifts, etc. And check out Affy over on the Voctaire tomorrow night.
Well done, Captain.
There you go. Look at you just.
Fizbin.
Canadian Dice should do something for you. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
Oh no, I'm very happy with my dice. I've got
say no
some
more.
really good dice thanks to them. Least I could do.
Tomorrow night is Ravenloft over on the Voctair, so jump over and check
Nope.
that out.
Miss Walkers.
Yeah, Miss Walkers, which is Ravenloft. It's in Ravenloft.
I guess.
That's what he
It
said.
is Ravenloft, the campaign setting at least. And thank you so much for joining us tonight and having some fun with us and some laughs. We will be back in 1 week's time for another episode of Dragonlance. I'm going to launch this raid, assuming it works properly. And we'll see everybody next time.
Yay.
Yeah.